Sponsoring, big investment, but not the only way to show up. So if you are not sponsoring, there is still so much that you can do to make the most around an event. Most of these events are either semi low cost, maybe $1,000. Things like Dreamforce might get a little bit more expensive, or like the key events for reInvent and all of that. But things like the World Tour, things like local networking events, those are all free. So if you are not sponsoring, there is still a ton of benefits to show up. You have the opportunity to network with partners as well as SIs. So when I talk about partners, that's the folks in your cloud ecosystem, SIs being the system integrators within that ecosystem. You can use it as a closing event. So if your customers are going to be there, customers are going to be there. Maybe you have things in the final stages that a networking event, a nice dinner out while they're already in town could really help in closing. For the customers that are there, it's such a great retention opportunity to really connect with them, understand where they may be having challenges, where they've really seen benefit from you in the past year, and start talking about ways that you can engage in the next year. And then, of course, brand awareness. So even if you're not sponsoring, showing up, showing your face, talking, networking, all of that's going to be really helpful and at the low cost of just your T&E versus the sometimes tens of thousands of sponsoring. So the thing about showing up and going rogue kind of on your own is that you don't have a lead scanner. So all of those tips that Kylie walked through around being able to scan and take notes, they don't apply to you. But there are plenty of other opportunities to make the most of this time without a scanner. Think about the meetings you can host. So you can host meetings on site, or think about if there's a WeWork, or if you have an office that's nearby where the event's taking place. Use some offsite time. You've got people in town, and although they may have busy schedules, everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs breakfast. Everyone needs lunch, and the lunches at these events are usually slim pickings. So, planning around the day before, sometimes the day after, thinking about some of those blocks of times, set up meetings, customers, prospects, partners, all open for grabs. On-site events and activities. So think about, similar to the advice we were giving on visiting booths, make sure you know where your customers and prospects are and know where they're speaking. You can still show up to all of those speaking events, stay after, take the pictures, engage with not only the speaker, but the handlers around them. Not to mention the folks who are showing up within this session are also people who care about what your customer and prospect are doing. There may be other customers and prospects within that network. And then think about the after hours events. So things like happy hours, things like a morning run. There are plenty of things that you can do before, after, around an event, and not things that you maybe don't need to do on your own. You can think about bringing in some of your co-marketing friends. We did a whole webinar on that. It's on our website if you want to check it out. But you have the opportunity to maybe spend $8,000 or $5,000 to rent out a space with others that are really complementary to your solution, and think about driving attendance and folks that way. It's one way to get a list. There's registration. People know where to find you. A really good opportunity.